Hey guys, Bondo here. I'm working on a pole barn today. This is for guys that do all our spray foam work, Kyle and Son spray foam. This is Logan's building. He is building a 40 by 56 pole barn here. I'm inside of it. He spray foamed everything, guys, right up to the roof. So we're in central New York here, and it's definitely cold right now. But we're gonna pour this thing out tomorrow. They did the radiant heat themselves, and obviously the spray foam and everything, they sprayed right on top of the gravel that I prepped a couple weeks ago. I put the gravel in here and tamped it all, and they went ahead and sprayed it after it dried out. And we're gonna put some heat in here tomorrow and pour this floor out, guys. This floor is like 6 inches thick. They want rebar in it, so we're gonna put some rebar in it. We're not using wire mesh. They actually snapped lines on the foam. So kind of cool how they did that. A little different than I do it. I usually use wire just to lay things out. Keeps your grid really good here. They're a little wide, but it's still gonna heat really good. Their tubing looks like they did a good job. These are I found one on the floor. These are what they secured it with, guys. This is like a push-in staple. Got these barbs on it. That's what's holding the tubing down to the foam. So obviously we're not going to lift the tubing up into the concrete at all. I'm laying this rebar grid out right now. I'm over here by myself, and I'm just putting some rebar on every post, and then I'm going to put it crossing on every post. So it's going to be 8-foot spacing. I didn't spec this out. This is the way the customer wants to do this floor. So that's what we're doing. I think it's going to be really good. I think this rebar is going to make it real strong, and it's 6 inches thick. We're also doing 4,000 pound concrete, guys, and it's got fiber mesh in it. So it's going to be really strong. Like I said, 6 inches thick. It's not going anywhere. And, we're going to be able to get some heat in here tomorrow and pour this thing out. They put some tarps over the doors just to keep the heat in here. And that's what I'm up to, guys. I'll get some good footage tomorrow of us pouring this thing. Like I said, they did their own radiant heat. This is how they exit the slab. They put a board in there. That board's gonna stay in there, and we're gonna pour right up against those pipes, which protects the tubing. They did put air on this thing, so they got air pressure on there holding. Looks like holding a little over 30 pounds. Or no, 300 pounds. Yeah, a little over 300 pounds of air. They got her cranked right up. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna pour this out tomorrow, like I said. They wanted the air in there so they can keep an eye on it if anything gets damaged, which it won't. We're gonna try to use a conveyor. We're gonna fold this tarp up to like here and try to get the conveyor in here. That conveyor will reach 38 feet. So the way these doors are set, we could flip that one up hopefully and get some in here too on this end. But those tarps, we can move them out of our way if we got to. Stand by, guys. I'll get some more footage tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Okay, guys, I'm putting this rebar down. I just wanted to show you. I'm using these little pieces of brick to hold everything up. I'm putting them about every 8 feet, right where the cross is. I just took these patio bricks that I got for free off a job. Took my target saw and I scored them. So you can get 9 out of each. I just cut them like that. I'll set them on this board. Just give it a little tap. Breaks them right up. There you go. 9 little bricks. And then, like I said, I'm just setting them under there, holding the rebar up so the concrete's under it. Just one last thing we're gonna have to do tomorrow, trying to keep that rebar up. Here we are, guys. This is what we're doing today. We are going to pull the first conveyor truck in this back door right here, guys. We're going to shoot right through here. We got the tarp rolled up and screwed up. And I got here this morning and I didn't realize there was a pile of gravel across this driveway. So Kyle came over and moved it. So now we're good to go because we're going to pull that conveyor in. We're going to slide it underneath this tarp and try to pour this out and as far as we can reach. Hit this section in the corner, pull out as far as we can reach. There's a pitch here going to this drain. It's going to pitch back to here. We got our rebar down. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 guys here today. I misspoke yesterday. This barn is 40 by 64, not 40 by 56. I misspoke on that one. And that's what we're up to, guys. Stay with us. We're waiting on the mud. We're right across from the little camp that we built this summer, guys. There it is. There's a trailer in front of it, so you can't really see it, but that's that camp we built. The sidings on it and everything. If you haven't seen those videos, check them out. That's all made out of rough cut lumber. This is a nice barn right here. For a pole barn, you guys know how I feel about pole barns, but there it is. Okay guys, we're at the job here this morning and Mike's van is looking a little cockeyed here. Mike, what happened? Well, that wheel's a little...
That's commitment. That's commitment right there.
Yeah, he made it here though.
He's over right here with the wheel locked the last mile.
He locked the wheel right up.
Still smell it.
It boiled his brake fluid on his van.
Bad enough I couldn't get the thing to spin, and then I went to stop and it wouldn't even...
Worst part, dude, you just made the last payment, right?
Last payment. Every time.
You said it. You said it.
I'm going to make the last payment. He's going to let me down.
You've been saying that for like 2 years.
That's commitment right there.
That is. He's here. He's here, and we're ready to work. Is that the mud? No. I thought maybe that was the mud, but it ain't. Okay, guys, it's December 29th today, and it's pretty cold. This is a lot later than I'm used to pouring concrete. Here's the barn. It's like in the 30s right now. It's supposed to get up close to 40 today. So with this barn being all insulated and we got those salamanders in there, we should be in good shape, hopefully. We did put 2% accelerant in the concrete. It's gonna be 4,000 pound concrete with fibers. And we got the rebar mat, so should be real good. Sounds like mud, boys. Here comes the mud. Sean on the conveyor. I'm gonna bring him in the other driveway down there. Circle T, baby. Woo! Oh no, it's Big Rob. Big Rob. I thought he was hibernating for the winter. Guess he ain't. Sean's lying, it's Big Rob. Hopefully he doesn't get stuck. He won't. This is all gravel. Got to stretch out the boom before he goes in there, guys. This is that conveyor truck. Some of you guys never seen one before. You're part of the country. It's a nice machine right there. It'll stretch out like 38 feet, so we'll get inside this doorway because the boom's kind of low where it comes out, but he's got to stretch it out and back underneath there. Big Robbie, I thought you hibernated for the winter.
I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a 40-yard conveyor job.
Yeah. How about that?
That's all I'm doing today, fucking conveyor work.
I wanted to hibernate myself, but
Got freaking done more conveyor work since it started snowing than I've done all summer.
nice. Damn fiber. Oh, man. I'll shut the video off. Okay guys, so the first truck driver forgot the fiber mesh, so we just got it. Luckily we're close to the plant and they just threw it in the truck, so now we're mixing it up. We probably lost 20-25 minutes, so I'm not really super happy about that, but we're gonna get rolling here in a second. We just want to make sure that fiber gets mixed into that truck good, and then we're gonna pour out what we're reaching right here. We're gonna try to pour this section out, pull the next truck in here with a front loader and do this section. I'll try to get some good video footage for you. Hey guys, Bondo here, so I'll walk you through how we did this. Like I said, the fiber was late getting there. It wasn't in the truck, so we lost a half hour. This concrete here has hot water in it, guys, and it has 2% accelerant in it, which actually makes it dry real fast. So by having that fiber not in that truck, kind of messed us up a little bit, because I had these trucks spaced at half-hour increments, and we would have had that first truck down and had the second truck in, but that kind of set everything off on this job, because these trucks were sitting there and they didn't back off the trucks. They just kept sending them, and they didn't take into account that we lost a half hour on that first truck just waiting for that fiber. So you know, with that hot water and accelerant in it, you really got to hustle. So we kind of had our hands full here. It doesn't look it because the video's sped up, but the concrete, you know, as we're putting it down, you could kind of see it was getting thicker and thicker, especially on the second truck. This truck wasn't too bad. We got it down pretty quick, but once we start dumping the second truck onto the conveyor here in a minute, that concrete got pretty thick pretty fast. So I don't know, it was probably like a 3 or 4 slump. We had to add a little water to it to get it to flow.
He's not even sinking.
He ain't even sinking. We're gonna pull Dwight right in here and dump onto the conveyor right here with his chute if we can get in here. Oh, hell yeah. That's how we do it. It's gonna make life less difficult for us. He ain't even sinking. Beautiful. So you can see what we're doing here, guys. We're putting in little wet pads with a laser, and then we're using those wet pads. Those wet pads are just set to the grade of the concrete that we want. And we're using them, that laser with those wet pads, and then we're going to take and pull off of those dots right there. See those dots? That's our grade. Now we got our pad to work off of, and we're just using a hand screed here, screeding it off. And we got guys behind them with the rakes, and we call them puddlers, and they're just puddling the concrete along as we screed it off. Pretty much Mike and Freddie were doing all the screeding here. I was puddling, and I was running the trimmy hose, placing the concrete. That's me there. And you can see Freddie's in the yellow shirt, and Mike's in the gray shirt on the right. Freddie's on the right, Mike's on the left. I think that's a 16-foot screed stick they're using right there, guys, I believe. And they're just pulling it right off. And like I said, the concrete wasn't too bad right at this point, but then we started to get into, I think this second truck was giving us a little bit of trouble here. I think we're going to end up, he gets out of there with the conveyor right now after we finish this little bit up. And then we pulled the front loader in here in a minute, and we finished dumping that first truck out. And you'll see that here in a minute. You can see the guy bow floating too. His name's Angel. He was bow floating everything as we went. He did most of the bow floating. Did a nice job for me. There you go. They're pulling the conveyor out there, guys. And I think Dwight's coming in here. Yeah, he had all his chutes on, so that was good. Dwight was on top of things. He had the truck all ready for this one. That was good. And he just went right in and dumping it right out. He's going to get rid of the rest of that truck right there. And that gets rid of that first truck. Or that's the second truck, sorry. The conveyor had all the concrete on the first truck. So Dwight had the second truck. He's empty right there. Now we're going to be looking to get a third truck in here, guys, and finish this up. But this corner right here to the right where the PEX tubing comes out, we can't reach in there with the conveyor. So we got this big wheelbarrow that's got big tires on it that Freddie brought. And we're going to use that big wheelbarrow to wheel over there. And we put some stuff down on the tubing so we wouldn't hurt the tubing. and we're just going to dump it in here. And this is where the concrete was getting really thick right here. This is the third truck right here, and this truck had been sitting for quite a while because they didn't take into account for the loss of time that we had with that fiber not being in the truck. So this messed us up. You can see right there, guys, we set the power trowel out on the floor. So that shows you that first load's, that power trowel didn't sink very far. So that first load's starting to dry. And here we are on putting in this third truck. And we added a little bit of water here because that concrete was really stiff. It was probably a 3-4 slump. And we brought it up to about a 5. And here we are finishing up the back part with that third truck. And we're just going to work our way out that back door. And then we're going to come around to the front of the building. And we had to pull these tarps up as we worked too, because these tarps were over the doors. So we had to lift up these tarps and kind of get them out of our way. So that created a little bit of a challenge. But we're trying to keep some heat in the building here. You can see we're just working our way out towards that back door. And then we're going to screed from the other side. And then we always call when we're going to turn and burn, we're just going to take the screed and turn the screed stick and work our way out the door. You can see Angel in there hitting it with the bow float. And then, I don't know, we turn the screed stick here. Yep, right there. Turn and burn. Just grab it and go right out the door with it. Worked our way right out. Guys, that's how we did it. And we got guys here setting up on this end. You can see the conveyor coming through the door, and we're just trying to get concrete against that old concrete as quick as we can to freshen up that edge. So we just dumped it right on, but this conveyor wasn't fitting through the door very good with the tarp, so we're having trouble with it. We're going to end up taking the trimming hose right off the darn thing here in a minute. And but we just started dumping it right out, getting it out as quick as we can right here. It's Rob on the conveyor. Right now they're dumping onto his conveyor. Here he took the trimming hose off because as he pulled out, he was going uphill a little bit, and it was interfering with that tarp. So we're just working our way out here, guys. You can see us putting in wet pad right there, and then working our way. Mike and Freddie working their way across, screeding across, and there's Scott. He grabbed the bow float. These guys that were working here were pretty sharp. All the guys that were helping me that day, they all knew what they were doing, which was good because this concrete really was taking off on us, as I said. Here I turn the camera. You can kind of see we're over in the corner there, and we just basically had to dump it. That's as far as we could reach. I figured the fastest way to do this was just to dump it and pull it. So we ended up just dumping it all there. We had myself and 2 other guys with come-alongs just pulling it around. Yeah, right there. We're just dumping it, guys. Pulling it in there. Those staples held real well too. Didn't mention that those staples, I never used these staples before, but the staples inside that spray foam really held that tubing down. So we might start using that and doing it that way again, because that worked pretty good. I always tie it to the wire mesh, but we only use the wire mesh just to hold it in place. We don't use it for reinforcement. We put fibers in the concrete, and that's how we get our reinforcement. So here we had that rebar in there on the brick chairs. That worked pretty good. That held up the rebar good, and the tubing, like I said, the tubing didn't even move. So we were a little nervous that it might move on us, but those staples really, they use the long staples, as I showed you in the beginning of the video. There's shorter ones that you can get, but I wouldn't recommend that. Right here, guys, we're just finishing up, but we actually ran a little bit short. What I did is I called 40 yards and a balance. So we ended up calling in a little bit at the end here, about 1.5 yards to finish up. So being the plant was right down the road, I didn't want to try to guess on the amount of concrete that I needed and end up, being over and throwing out concrete. So I just ordered 40 and figured I'd need a balance, and we did need a little bit of a balance of 1.5 yards.
Here's Freddie on the power trowel, guys. He's already out there hitting it and breaking the floor before we even got the rest of it down. He's out there knocking this down. And you can see guys on the knee boards working the edges. Now we're taking that tarp and we're going to lower that tarp to try to keep some heat in the building. I think that's me on the ladder there, pulling the tarp down so we can get that door closed up. We had to take some screws out of it, and you can see we kind of rolled it down. But you can see Freddie's just hitting this floor. He's just getting it all laid out, getting rid of the bow float lines and stuff. And that next little bit of concrete's going to come here, and we'll finish up that extra 1.5 yards that we needed to put down. That should be here in just a second. Here it is, putting that down. And we poured this, the driver, Sean, did a nice job here. He brought it in really thick, which I wanted, because I didn't want wet concrete just for this little bit to finish up. So this was a really, really low slump. It was probably like a 3 or 4 slump concrete. It was really thick, so that worked good because we didn't want to have a little wet spot there that we were chasing all night long. And there we go. That's how we finished it up right there, guys. Got it poured.
A little bit stuck out here. You're stuck, bud. You ain't going nowhere.
You know what it is? It's the kids. They bury them first, and then they put them in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, first, yep. Bury it first, put it in later. We'll hook you up to the concrete truck. You're just digging in deeper. You're making a hole. Yeah, we'll hook the concrete truck up to you. We just need a chain or a strapper. We got a strap or a chain? Hold on. He's stuck. He's good and stuck. We'll hook it right to the front of that.
Is this gonna make up for not having fiber?
Yeah, this will make up for being late. Not quite.
Hey,
It's gonna take more than that. Well, that's a short chain, bub. Hook her up.
Come on, let's go. Quick like a buddy.
Scott, oh, put it in neutral. Brad, put it in neutral, guys.
There we
Is it
go.
gonna come off the...
No. Fix it right up. Yeah, fix the truck right up. Yeah, baby. Keep going.
Ride your
Atta boy.
Hey, he's going to fold it.
Ride your brake while you only got 2 feet there.
The things we get into, huh?
Alright, unhook it.
Hey, we got out of it.
Come on, we got pizza down the road. Let's go.
Yeah, we gotta get some lunch here.
Yeah.
Unhook her. Thanks, Sean.
And I'm going to put it in neutral and let it roll forward against the blocks so we ain't got to worry about it.
We'll get her.
Thanks, buddy. You kicked that one in there.
Yep. Now we're gonna fix Mike's van. Oh, we're waiting on the concrete to dry. What the heck is that? Oh, it's for the crank for the jack. All right,
Yeah.
I got you. We got a wheel bearing coming here to fix his van. There we go. We're against these blocks. Yeah, buddy. We'll get her, Mike. Give her a shake, Mike.
I don't know. She's making a little noise on the way to work this
Yeah.
morning. And had a little tip to her. And I said, oh, Jesus. I said, oh, my
I think it's still good.
I think I'd get another 5 miles on her.
Oh my God, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're good to go. Put her back together. Oh my goodness.
Oh, shit.
Let me see if I got my big screwdriver. Pop it.
We're
Get her out of
mechanics.
our way.
We're mechanics. We're masons. We do it all.
We could do anything. Let's get a 14 on that. And I'll break these free next.
How about a 15?
Yes, sir, please.
I think you could have made it home, bud.
I think so too. I mean, look at the life expectancy here.
That's not bad. I mean,
Right?
a little grind in it. Just a little grind, but not bad.
I never heard a thing.
Yeah, you could have made it to Minato over the bridge.
Dude.
We're not rebuilding this.
Wait a minute.
She shot.
I'll give you my
brother.
wheel bearing. I'll fucking wait,
Shot,
wait.
bud.
Listen. See the race? If we can get this apart, I go down to the wheel bearing shop.
You were not.
The
doing
bearing shop where I used to get my 4-wheeler bearings. Oh, we can rebuild this one.
it. No.
Come on, we'll save so much money.
Yeah.
That fucking price OC's on here, you kick you right out of the shop.
Leave it on. Why? So I can.
It's a plug, dude.
So I can retrace
It's a plug.
where this all goes, so we don't get
sense.
confused. Says the guy with his check engine light on.
You gotta get that off. The check engine light comes on, they go to the job. And it comes back on.
Trucks are big enough to where it doesn't matter either.
Lucky? I don't ever get lucky. I don't know about that, buddy. That seals good.
Oh yeah, sorry buddy.
Yeah, look at that. Huh?
Clean enough.
Concrete guys to idiots. Oh.
We do
I
concrete.
don't know. Hey, I don't know what we're more dumb for doing.
Mechanical work, concrete, we do it all.
All right, that one's going, by the way.
Sparky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did my
got her.
electrical work for the day too, didn't I, Scott?
Go.
Here, you get what's happening.
Nice.
There it is.
Look at those beautiful studs. Okay, so here's the deal. We're hitting that piece of plot. Oh, wait a minute. We're
Hitting the
more than
jack.
that.
We're hitting the jack.
I'm going to turn the wheel a little more to the.
Okay, guys, it's 4:30. She's looking pretty good. You can see over here, still leaving some trowel lines. I'm thinking probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll be done here. I'm hoping. We got a salamander running over there, blowing heat in here. There's one over there too, right there, but I don't think that one's running anymore. It's looking pretty good. A couple more hits. See it, guys, but you can see the heat coming off the concrete over here. You can see like steam coming right up off the concrete. Concrete heats up pretty good when it starts to react. This end over here is looking pretty good. Shining up nice. Texas. Fancy boom. Hey guys, Bondo back here at the floor. Just giving you a walk around before I cut it. How it looks. I don't know how good the lighting is in here, but come out pretty nice. I got the Husqvarna soft cut saw here. It was a little late last night. It was 8 o'clock and we didn't want to cut it that late, so we're gonna cut it here in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
This here's a product from Butterfield called Clear Guard First Seal. Guys, it's a water-based cure and seal product that we end up rolling onto this floor.
Here's the finished product. The sealer's drying right now. You can see the back there's already dry. We got our cuts in and everything's ready to roll. Another one bites the dust. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.